I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Hillary.
And we're the Feral Housewives. Welcome back, fellow Feral Housewives. That's kind of hard to say, actually.
Today we have our friend with us, Danelle.
Hello.
And we're going to interview her and just chat about cooking today. But first, she's going to tell you a little bit about herself.
Hi, my name is Danelle. I have been married to my husband Neil for 19 years, and we have 5 kids. I recently just started a job, and for the last couple months, and what I like to do for fun is I like to read.
Specifically, she likes to read
Pride and Prejudice variations. That's it. That's the only thing I actually read now.
And for Christmas, her husband wrote her a story.
He did read me. I wrote a story.
But no one else is allowed to read it.
Nope.
So Danelle is, her kids are friends with a lot of our kids. We have kids at the same age. Specifically, her youngest, Eliza, is friends with Kit and Mercedes, and the two of them,
The three of them
get into
a lot of mischief.
They're very, they are very headstrong and very independent.
Yes, they are. So we are going to share our feral moments of the week. Do you want to start off, Kim?
Yes. So my feral moment was, we've had a crazy week. We had some day camps. Kit is in gymnastics, so she's had a lot of gymnastics. And then Ryan, my bonus son, he went away for like a camp out with our church group. And then when he gets home from his camp out tonight, then he's going straight to Massachusetts to visit his mom. So it's been crazy. So yesterday we had to drop him off at the meeting point for his camp out. Camp out. And we had to get up at 7:30, which for us is early because we homeschool, especially right now because we're like in full summer mode. And
people who homeschool that get up at 7:30.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know why, but...
We are not those people. We are not morning people. My son Hank is a morning person. And sometimes he's awake, but he was not awake because he actually woke up in the middle of the night. So Ryan is like 7:30. Ryan is the only morning person in our house. So he gets up early every morning and just like has his own like chillax time. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Adam is a morning person, except he works, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, so he was like 7:30. We gotta go. We gotta get there. So I get everyone out of bed. We get in the car. We go to the church. Kit is just like, why did you get us up so early? I'm like, I mean, by now it's like 8. And I'm like, it's not really that early. Like, people go to school at this time. And she was like, not during the summer. And I'm like, some people do. So we get to the church. Ryan's like, they're leaving right at 8 o'clock. And we get there and we're the only people there.
Oh, no.
The next person to show up was actually Danelle and her kids. So I was like, okay, well, at least there
I
are
thought I was
people
at the wrong spot.
I did too, so I was really glad when Danelle got
check
there.
the email.
I did too. I was like, Brian, are you sure this is where we're supposed to be? So, yeah. So some of the leaders didn't even get there till like 8:15. Anyway, so we got there and we got home and then we went to our little play group. And then the rest of the day, I was so tired. We just went home and we did nothing the rest of the day. Like I originally was like, guys, we have to do chores and we have stuff that we have to do. We did nothing. We sat and we watched movies all day long, which was kind of nice. I just hung out with my kids. And it wasn't that bad until my husband got off late from work because he had some crisis at work. So he didn't get home till 8 o'clock. Oof. So by then it was just me and my 3 little kids and I'm like going insane. And they're tired and I'm tired. So we had leftovers, which was great. We had that leftover spaghetti.
Yeah.
And then I put the kids in the shower. And
all 3 of them? Same time? Just hose them off?
Hose them off, no. Not Tommy. The 2, Kit and Hank. And, actually, yes, they were playing together in the bathtub. I don't know if that's weird or not. They were wearing swimsuits. Anyway, so they were playing, and because I was just like, I can't stand you anymore. And Hank is my child who, when he knows that I'm like, I'm like done, he's like, oh, mom's last nerve. It's so bright and shiny. Let me touch it 1,000,000 times. And, so then finally Adam got home. And then I was like, oh, you know what? We need a binky for the baby, which we did. And he's like, oh, you should have told me on the way home. I could have stopped and gotten one. I was like, no, it's okay. I'm going. And he's like, what? I'm like, I'm going. So I went to the store. I went to the store and walked around for like 30 minutes, bought Binkies, and then went home and felt much better. Oh, and I went and got a Diet Coke from McDonald's. I was just like, I cannot deal with this anymore.
That's not the story I thought you were going to tell.
What was the story you thought I was going to
I
tell?
thought you were going to tell the fork story.
The fork story?
Of Hank.
Oh.
That one was so cute.
That was a cute one. Okay, now I have to tell it.
You have to tell that
It's
one
really
now,
fast.
because it's super cute.
This was a couple nights at dinner, which I served at 6:30, which was amazing. So we sat down to have dinner as a family. Family dinner at 6:30. Go me. So we sat down to have dinner, and not so go me. We didn't have enough forks that were washed. So I gave everyone a fork, and I gave Hank a plastic fork. We have like these little like plastic forks from Walmart that are like, you know, kids, like they come with the plastic plates and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I know
like,
what plastic
like the
silverware
IKEA
is,
ones.
yes.
What? They're
Kinda
like cute
like
ones.
the-
They're not like disposable plastic ones.
Like the IKEA ones.
Yes. So they're like,
Like rewatchable
They're
ones?
really,
Yeah,
they're
they're
really hard
rewashable.
to use. Like if
Oh.
you've ever used the IKEA
I don't know. I
ones,
just
they're
do
like.
throwaway ones.
I
oh yeah,
actually
no, they
threw
weren't
away all the
throwaway
forks.
ones. Anyway, so I gave him one of those, but he wanted a real fork. So he stole Ryan's fork. And then I was like, we were like, Hank, you stole Ryan's fork. And he was like, I needed a fork. And we're like, well, then give Ryan your fork. And he stopped and he looked at me. He's like, but Mom, Ryan is my brother. And he deserves a fork. And we're like, oh, well, are you gonna switch forks with him? And he stops and he looks at me and he looks at Ryan and he looks at the forks and he's like, I love him, but no. And Hank doesn't say a lot of words. He's just now like starting to talk more. But yeah. Anyway, we ended up, he's like, let's wash him a fork. So we got up to wash him a fork and then we gave it to Ryan.
That's super cute.
Yes.
I liked that story when you told it to me. Yep. So, do you want to do yours or do you want me to go first?
I can do mine.
Okay, go ahead.
So this was a few years ago. I don't really have a recent one, but a few years ago when my boys were getting potty trained. I have two boys that are kind of similar in age, and I'd wake up in the morning and there would be like little pee spots over the house. And we thought it was our dog, and we're like, you guys need to take Roxy out. That's our dog's name. And
Poor Roxy.
I know, we blamed our dog for a while, and until I stayed up one night and I watched my sons sleepwalk, and they were just like peeing randomly. Like they would pee on the door, they were peeing on the washer, they would pee in the bathtub, the garbage can. These are the spots that we find pee all over. And I saw them and I'm like, oh my gosh, we have been accusing our dog of peeing for a while. I think it was a couple months that we did that for before I discovered what the culprit was.
So how did you get him to stop?
I don't know. They just did
She
stop.
locked their door.
No, because they even
pee in your own room,
They
kid.
even peed on Josie's homework. Like that was the thing, is they peed on their older sister's homework, and we were like, the dog. We need to take her out more.
You need to cut her watered back, man.
Yeah.
Really? It was just your children.
It was just my two boys that would sleep pee. We call it sleep peeing.
man.
So
yeah. It is. I've heard of other people, those same things. Like, mostly boys doing it.
yeah, but they would like pee on the door, like just random spots in my house, and I was like, this is disgusting.
That's creepy.
Well, Ryan did that one time when he was like...
Oh, under the sink.
Yes.
I remember that
I
story.
was actually, like,
I thought
9
they were
months
like
pregnant.
Well, and I thought they were also like, we would see pee in the tub, and I was like, this is disgusting. Go in the toilet. You have to just wait your turn. And it was at night that this was happening at.
It's like part of a dream.
Yes.
So
it was ridiculous.
Like, how did the dog get in the tub to pee?
I know.
So when Ryan did it, I was 9 months pregnant with kids, and Adam came down one day, and he has Ryan with him. Ryan was 6, and he was 7. He was 7 by then. And Adam's like, so someone peed under the sink in the Q-tip box. And I was like, gross. And And I was like, who did it? And Adam's like, well, I don't know. It wasn't me. And it wasn't Ryan. Was it you? And I'm sitting there thinking, like, I'm 9 months pregnant. Like, how on earth would I do that? And I was like, you're not inferring that it's me. And he was like, and he was like, well, Ryan, it wasn't Mom. Who do you think it was? And then all of a sudden, like, Adam really knew it wasn't me. He was just trying to get Ryan to confess. And then all of a sudden I was like, Ryan, I was like, did you maybe have a dream that you peed in a weird spot last night? And he was like, yes. And he was like, I dreamed that I had to pee and I couldn't find it. And I couldn't find a toilet. I was at the carnival and I finally found a box to pee in. So I did, which that happened to be our cupboard.
Oh, man.
Which happened to everything got thrown away from. Anyway.
I think this happened. Ours happened for like a few months.
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh.
It was really gross.
Well, as far as we know, it didn't happen again. Maybe it did.
It was just a
man.
phase that they went through.
Yeah. Was it around the same age?
Yeah, they were both doing it about the same time.
Okay.
I remember that.
Wow.
Interesting.
All right. Well, so my feral moments for this week, I guess they're more kind of like silly stories that happen with my kids. But we have my nephew over this week visiting, and we went down to visit some friends down south, a little, like an hour away. And I took the kids to C's Candies to get some treats, and we got some of the suckers there. And then later when we got home, like I told them they couldn't have their suckers till after dinner. And we were eating dinner, and then they went to bed, and everything was fine. But they didn't finish their suckers, and they put them in little baggies on the counter. And they watched a movie before bed for a movie night. And then it was like, I don't know, 1:30 or 2 in the morning, and Mercedes had woken up, and she hollers down to me, and she's like, and I was up, I think, because I think Suki woke me up to let her out. And she's like, Mommy! And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, why does Edwin have a sucker stuck to his shirt? And I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Probably because he snuck it upstairs. And she's like, okay. And she just like went back to sleep. And then I asked Edwin the next morning, I was like, hey, Edwin, why'd you have a sucker stuck to your shirt last night? And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, yeah. I was like, where's that sucker now? I ate it.
Edwin!
He's so gross. I was like, seriously, kid, come on. That's so
Maybe he was just
disgusting."
saving it for later.
Right? And I'm thinking it was like on his shirt, like in the front. And I guess it was like on his back.
Was it stuck to his skin or his like
His
t-shirt?
shirt, like his t-shirt on his back. I'm like, that is so gross. It's disgusting. And then the other one was we were driving because it's like an hour drive there and back. And when we were driving, and the kids had Barbies in the back seat to play with, and so they really love to. One is a Rapunzel doll, and one is a normal Barbie doll. And the Rapunzel doll has like her hair is like frizzed out like crazy, like you know how they get. And
We saw the doll.
yeah, it's pretty bad. And we get out, and I think it was when we came back from C's, when we came back to the car, and I'm like, holy crap, what is going on? They like hung the Rapunzel doll from the like little Jesus handle or whatever you call it in the back seat. The handle you grab, you know? Or
we
dry cleaning from.
We
Do you know the
didn't.
handle I'm talking about?
Well, yeah, we didn't call it the Jesus handle. We called it.
Was that what you guys call it?
No,
That's
yeah,
what I call it. I don't know what's the proper name for it.
My dad called it the S handle.
I can't think of the word.
But you know what
my
I'm
dad
talking
called
about,
it.
right?
Yeah.
My dad called it the S handle because it was short for shit. The oh shit handle. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I know what S word ends.
Oh, that's what we called it. So I guess oh Jesus could be the same thing, like save me Jesus.
So she was like hanging by her hair from that handle in the back seat, like facing the window. It looked so freaky. I was like, take that down. That is terrifying. Like somebody walks by the car and it looks like some voodoo thing, like shrunken head thing hanging from the window.
I used to hang my
terrifying.
Barbie dolls, and
By the hair?
No, by the neck.
Oh, well, that's...
I used
A
to
little bit
tie
morbid,
them
too.
I used to tie them and I would hang them in my room. And my mom thought I was like really like something was wrong with me.
Yeah.
And she finally asked me, that would be.
a little concerning.
She finally asked me what I was doing and I was like, oh, I'm playing. And she's like, what are you playing? I was like, I'm playing Robin Hood. And she was like, what? And I was like, in Robin Hood, people get hung because evil Prince John.
Oh my god.
So I hanged them. And I was like, look, this female Barbie, I had 2 of the same Barbie. I was like, this is her before when she's a pretty princess living in the castle. She's Maid Marian. And I was like, this is her after she gets arrested and Prince John cuts off her hair.
Oh my gosh.
That's a little morbid.
And I grew up perfectly normal. Relatively so. But I don't kill people and I don't torture people. So
that we know of.
That is for sure true. People are going to start investigating me now.
No. So, and then on the drive home to this was, they didn't know what slug bugs were. And we were playing.
Wait, they do it all the time. How did they not know what they were?
Well, Edwin knows what slug bug. Riker didn't know what slug bug game was.
Okay.
So my kids played the slug bug game, and there are not actually a ton of slug bugs out anymore. I don't know if you noticed that, but there's not a ton of them, so they're kind of hard to find. So we made up test slug. We play the test slug game instead because there's a ton of Teslas all over the place. So we play that instead, and so. We were driving home and Edwin kept hitting Riker saying test slug, and he doesn't really know what a Tesla is.
They're harder to spot than.
Yeah, and like the T's kind of, anyways. So Edwin just kept doing it and Riker's like, that's not a Tesla. And Riker knows the cars. And so I'm driving and they're like, and Edwin's like, slug bug, test slug, and he just keeps hitting Riker and Riker's like, Tesla, bored. I'm like, what the crap? Bored? It's like, that's not a thing. He's like, and I was like rolling it, and he was like, what's so funny? I was like, bored's not really a thing. Like, that's
everyone
brand.
has a bored.
Like, so those were my very silly and kind of fairly moments this week. Yeah, so that's what we did.
All right. So we're
good. Yeah.
So we're going to move on and we're going to ask Danelle some questions to find out if she is a feral housewife or not.
Yes.
Do I live up to the test?
We'll
There's
find out.
no living up to anything. It's totally fine if you're not a feral housewife.
Yeah.
So, what are our official questions?
I don't know. We don't have them. Maybe we should make some.
Maybe we should make some and ask at the end of the podcast.
Danelle, you're our guinea pig. We're going to write them down as we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let me get my notebook out. Don't mind my paper rustling noise. Okay. Number 1.
Do you have a laundry couch? Or a place where the laundry gathers?
That is the number 1 question.
Not anymore.
Because your kids are older now, or like?
I mean, we used to have it on our bed, and then it would move to the baskets, and then we'd put it back on our bed, and then we're like,
yep.
This
So
is where we're
laundry
gonna do
couch
it.
is relative. It can be a couch, a chair,
but
a
now
bed.
my husband has gotten so fed up that like if it's not folded and within a few days, then he gets really mad. So, or we just
Neil gets mad,
right?
Yeah.
Does he say the D word? Because Eliza told us he likes that word.
That's a funny story.
That is a funny story. We should have
is a
told
good
that
one.
story about Eliza.
So they just fold the clothes and put them away. They just each have their own jobs that they do during the week. Because they're part of our household.
Well, it's true. I mean, my kids, like, that's one of the things that I've started doing, is Ryan does his own laundry, because he's almost 16. And then Kit, she started doing her laundry. She just, like, pulls her basket out. And actually, she can start the washer now. She can't reach the dryer, though. Kit is short. She's very, very short. She's 4'1", and she's going to be 9 in November. She's
It's the same. I think
her.
Josie or Eliza and Kid are the same height.
Yeah.
Adam's
She's in
3/4
like
taller.
the 17th percentile for height. So she can't reach the dryer. So we put them in the dryer and then we put them back in the basket. Then she takes them and she puts them away.
Yeah.
So it's gotten better since then.
Well, like Eliza has a job where she folds like the towels and socks, like she matches up the socks, and then Spencer's job is to put away all the clothes, and then I think like Josie and James are either fold or hang up clothes.
Right.
So they just each have their own job, and then like we just kind of switch like the days.
But
and stuff.
you don't go through and do like all the laundry in your house. for
No,
everyone.
we have to have organized chaos.
Yes.
That's really what we have to
Okay,
have.
so
Organized chaos. Okay. That works.
Feral.
Because then we don't get mad. So we're trying to prevent, the climax moments where you're like frustrated. And my husband doesn't like wrinkly clothes, so
I leave the clothes in the dryer forever, and Sean will pull out a shirt, and he's like, don't know how long this has been here. It's like basically turned into a wrinkly mess. It's just like a wrinkle ball.
Just restart the dryer. Do
Does
a
that
fluff
work?
cycle. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes.
If you take
You
actually
need to get like something wet.
yes, if you take a washcloth, a clean one or else it'll smell. Take a washcloth, get it wet, wring it out, throw it in there with a fresh like fabric softener thing.
We don't use fabric softener.
Okay, then just throw it in there.
Edwin's allergic to everything.
Yeah, that's true. You can buy them free included.
Also, Sean doesn't use them because he says they're bad for the dryer.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I know, but I like my clothes soft.
I know.
And no static.
And no cleanliness.
They actually aren't staticky if you don't do it long enough. Like, our clothes aren't staticky anymore. In the beginning, they were. But now that we haven't used them for like years now.
Yeah,
They're
my
not
kids
staticky anymore.
they reacted to like the wool balls, and so we couldn't use those either. Because I tried to go without dryer sheets, and my kids would break out and rash. So
Interesting.
Okay, number 2.
Do you ever get fed up with your kids and just say, whatever?
yes, those are the moments where I go and read. Put myself in a self-included timeout.
Oh, exactly. Okay. Feral.
Check. Okay.
What's number 3?
Do you have dinner on the table by a certain time every night?
No,
Okay.
I don't like to cook anymore. So I cooked for I don't know how many years, but every time I would get pregnant, I would be like it would be super nauseous, and so I couldn't make dinner. And so Neil, my husband, would make it, and he just kept it up. I just let him do it.
Not gonna stop you.
Won't stop you there, but I do occasionally. I mean, because he's busy kind of during the week, so I do make the meal. But
Okay.
4, do you have any chores that you absolutely despise? I guess that you actually do because we've talked about that.
chores that I despise, all of them, really. I mean, like,
Hate
does
cleaning
anyone
the
say,
house.
you know what I like to do?
Actually,
is mopping the floor.
Yes, some people do.
I
I like
know.
to vacuum a floor. I love it to
Really?
vacuum
You
the
don't
floor.
like to vacuum the walls?
Actually, sometimes I do vacuum my walls.
What about the ceiling?
I do vacuum my ceiling sometimes with like the thing to get all the cobwebs out.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be smart, and you're just like not working with me.
Oh, I don't vacuum. I have kids, so I basically I vacuumed up
everything.
I vacuumed up my dining room table the other day.
Oh my gosh.
We just included the table as part of the dishes, and they have to do like if my kids don't do their dish day and have it like the tables, the counters, the dish, all the dishes that need to be washed by hand, everything recycling needs to go out, and everything they have to do the dishes the next day.
Okay.
And so if they don't complete it, then they have another dish day.
Oh
And
my
all their
gosh.
siblings are like, be lazy, be lazy, be lazy.
That's how we solve that problem. But my kids are all a lot older too, so I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have very young kids anymore.
Yeah.
Do you have a sink full of dishes on a regular basis?
Well, hence the kids. Ever since we started this, no.
Danelle's like, here's the thing. I apparently used to have all these things.
I did.
But I have
Okay.
children. Yeah.
and even I used to, I don't know, for the first couple kids, I think it was like 4 kids. I did everything. The housework, I did fold the clothes, I washed everything. And I got to a point, I'm like, why am I doing everything and not allowing my kids to help? I'm not teaching them any skills or anything. And so I just turned it over to them.
Right. I mean, same in our
Life
house.
skills.
Yeah.
We call those life skills,
Oh,
right?
Yeah. No, I mean, they're called chores. And like, I grew up with chores.
Yeah.
And honestly, when I went to college, like, there were kids who didn't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
And I don't want my kids to go to college and not know how to do their laundry or wash a
Or
dish.
cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Have
always
you-
try to include them doing that.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen American Housewife?
No.
Okay, well, it's hilarious. And there's this one episode where the daughter, she's like 17 or 18, I think, and she's going to go off to college, and she doesn't know how to do all these like life skills. And so her dad makes a list of life skills of things to do. And so she's got to like check them all off before she can go off to college. And a lot of them are like basic things, like doing laundry and like cooking an omelet or like basic
Yeah.
life things. And so it's true. You got to teach them. And so like, that's
I
what
know.
kids do.
My daughter's really terrible at cooking. Like, because
Yeah.
it's, you have to focus.
Eliza or Josie?
Josephine. She is terrible because her mind is everywhere else.
I
But
knew who
the
she was
task
talking
on
about.
how.
Well, I mean, Eliza could be terrible at it. too.
Eliza's 6.
She's at Eliza?
7.
Oh, she goes. Oh, no.
She started cooking oatmeal. So
We can't get into cooking it. That's the next topic.
okay.
Okay. Do you run on a schedule?
No.
Okay. So I think we can determine at this point that she is a feral
Sure.
housewife.
I think the last question should
Okay.
be, do you care if people think you're the perfect wife or mom?
I don't like that concept where you have to be the perfect wife because I think that it's non-achievable.
And that is our philosophy.
It's really not achievable. And I just feel like, I don't know.
So Danelle is a perfect, imperfect feral housewife.
Yes.
Excellent.
Welcome to our reigns.
Do I get
You may
a
join
medal?
us.
Something to hang out? I need some acknowledgement here.
A little cat medal.
You should be handing these out. I should be wearing it.
You have become feral. So I think we'll move on now to our topic of the week for cooking, right?
Yeah.
So we were going to talk about cooking and all the different things on why we do or don't and how it works in different households and different ways to cook and different styles and what we do in our homes and what works and what doesn't.
Yep. So Danelle is our guest. Danelle?
Would you like to start?
Well, I mean, let's just start this back in college. When I went to college, I was like, I have no rules, hooray, I can do whatever I want. I can have ice cream for breakfast. So I made a point to have ice cream for breakfast. And then I felt really crappy afterwards. I was like, I'm a little shaky. Probably shouldn't have done that. So, I mean, I learned how to cook the box food because my mom didn't teach us how to cook. And so I kind of had to learn a little bit and I learned a few meals. But when I got married, I remember cooking for Neil and I was like, I'm going to make fried chicken. That was the thing I was
That's
like
the hardest, one of the hardest meals.
Neil's and that was one of Neil's favorite because he went on, he visited, Georgia. And so he just really likes fried chicken. And so I was like, I'm going to make him fried chicken. And I burnt it. And I was like, it's just garbage. And I was like, I was so upset that he's like, no, it's still good. And he ate it. And I was like, this is so bad. And I just felt really bad that I didn't know how to do it.
When you were younger, did you have a image when you guys were first married? Did you have an image of what you wanted to be?
Yes, I did.
I
did have an image of I should do the cooking. And so I tried and I failed miserably, obviously, because I burnt a lot of things. I'm not very patient. When I put a pot of oil or water to boil, I just want it to boil.
She's like, boil now. Do your job, thing.
Just boil now. I'm a lot like my oldest daughter where she just...
That's what I was thinking when you were saying that. I was like, so like Josie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a image in you?
Oh yeah. My mom cooked.
So did mine.
Every night, right? And she was a really, really good cook. And Adam's mom cooked every night. And my mom had dinner on the table pretty consistently at 6.
Yeah.
Even if my dad wasn't home, my dad commuted 2 hours. And so he usually got home around 6, but not always. But we'd always eat at 6. And if he wasn't home, he would just eat. He usually got home within a little bit of time of that. So he would join us. And so I always pictured having these perfect meals. And actually, I made fried chicken for Adam one time, which is funny because we were newlyweds. And his mom is from Texas and Louisiana. And she makes the best fried chicken. So I'm like, I'm going to make fried chicken for Adam. And I made it and it was burnt and dry and not good. But unlike Danelle's husband, my husband was like, this is not your best meal. I like my mom's better. And, which makes him sound bad, but that's just, when Adam tells me, I love Adam because when he says, oh, you're good at that.
It's funny.
It's true because, yeah.
That's when I tell Sean.
Mm-hmm.
I tell him too. I'm like, it's all right.
I mean, he's never rude, it's trash, but he's like, this is not what you do best.
Yeah.
He's like, stick to tacos.
Don't make coleslaw.
Don't make coleslaw.
Don't do the coleslaw, okay?
We've never had fried chicken since then, just so that you know. And we've been married 10 years now, so.
Yeah. So I also had an image, but it was more I don't know, my mom cooked and she didn't cook a lot. and she had like 4 meals that she did. It was spaghetti from a jar. She'd made this 3-cheese chicken that was delicious, like the packets with the seasoning stuff that they don't make anymore. And then she did tacos, and that was it. Actually, there's only 3. So she made those. And then my dad would grill once in a while when he was around, but those were it. And then she would do like canned foods and stuff, like ramen. Well, that's not canned. Ramen or like raviolis or SpaghettiOs, like that.
You like ate that stuff for dinner?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what we did. Are you judging my
No,
mom?
I was just thinking that when I was
there
a
supposed
kid,
to be non-judgment here?
Right?
No, it's
Are
not
you looking
judgment.
at my hair again?
No, I literally was thinking I would have loved to live in your house as a kid and have SpaghettiOs for dinner. My mom like never fed a SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, my mom did it. She's like, no, we can just, because she would try to make stuff from scratch. We just didn't have a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, she
Yeah,
would never
like
do
we
that.
would
She-
never.
And frozen dinners like that. We ate. That's how we ate. That's what we did.
I was also thinking Hank would really have
I
liked
think that
to
was
grow
a
up in that.
special. That was our special time. We had a frozen dinner, but I came from a family of 7.
They
so.
were. It's funny because they were a treat in our house. So when we did like the frozen dinners, it was like dinner.
Or or those little Tostino's pizzas, like I think they were like
Yes.
99 cents or something.
We would get those too.
Those are Sean's favorite thing to eat right now. Not right now, but like he's like, it's my favorite like childhood memory food to eat.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what they were like.
And that, you
big.
taste it now, you're like, this tastes like cardboard.
right? But
It's
he,
like
that's
the
he'll want it when
worst.
he's alone and like has a guy night or something. That's what he wants to eat.
Yeah,
It's funny.
Adam's is ramen, but it was just funny. And I was thinking too, because you mentioned SpaghettiOs. Last night for dinner, we had leftover spaghetti, and Hank was like, "I don't want this spaghetti. I want SpaghettiOs." And I was like, "SpaghettiOs? This spaghetti is way better." He's like, "No, they're not O's."
Yeah. So then when I became a wife, so I hate cooking. I absolutely hate it. I think it's a waste of time because it's gone in like 4 minutes. And it just, I don't know. It's just a waste.
Unless
like
it's
hours.
bad.
It takes like hours to cook and then it's gone like instantly. So it's just like, I don't know. It's a waste of time to me. I would rather just go buy it and be done. So, but Sean loves to cook. So when we were first married, though, like I think I wanted to cook for him, and I did want to make him lunches when he went to work, and I did that for like a very long time. I made him a lunch every day and sent him to work in his little lunchbox, and it was all cute and newlywed.
Did you really? I never did that for
did.
Adam.
I did that for Neil.
Yeah. And
I actually
until we had a kid.
I actually told Adam that
Until
I was.
real
yeah.
life happens.
I told Adam I was not the kind of woman who was going to make him a freaking sandwich. If he wanted a sandwich, he could make it. One day he was sick. I made him a sandwich. He's like, "I must be dying."
Yeah. I did that for about 2 years till we had Mercedes. And then, but when we went grocery shopping for the first time, because Sean makes everything from scratch.
He does.
Everything. And we went grocery shopping for the first time and together as newlyweds. And I buy a lot of the packet mixes, like the Alfredo, and like you add milk and stuff and mix it up and like cook it, you know? Or the pesto sauces or like taco seasonings, those type of things.
Yeah.
You know, normal people things that people buy.
Yeah.
To make.
He makes his own taco seasoning.
Yeah.
My dad makes his own taco seasoning.
Yeah.
I actually know how to, but
Or like
I don't feel like they add
Alfredo.
enough things when you make your own.
Yeah, he does like curry sauces too and stuff. Like he doesn't like to buy the packet stuff.
yeah.
But we were in the aisle there and I was like grabbing like Alfredo and like I also like to do this like chicken roast thing that like is a rub type, not a rub, but like you cook it in the bag thing. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Buying some things to cook with." And he's like, "I can just make those." And I was like, "Yeah, but do you want me to cook ever? Because if you want me to cook, like I don't do this stuff from scratch. Like I'm going to buy these things because I don't do Alfredo from scratch." He's like, "Oh, I guess you're right." So then I bought them, obviously. But I don't cook anymore. Ever. If I do, the kids think someone's dying.
See, I do a mix of both. I do a lot of homemade stuff, but I also use a lot of like I can make homemade Alfredo. I can make homemade spaghetti. Spaghetti sauce, honestly, I love Prego spaghetti sauce. I think it's really good, so we usually do that. But there are times where I do use it, you know, because it's just easier and faster. But like, I grew up making like tacos. My dad makes the best tacos, so I know how to do like tacos without taco seasoning, and they're so good. But because I have young kids, like I use Like, I always buy taco seasoning stuff, and I use it for a lot of stuff.
My mom never used taco seasoning. She only ever did salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And so that's all I ever grew up eating it. And so I'm also very basic.
She is very,
I
very
have
basic.
sensory issues.
And she likes salt.
And I love salt. And so it was always like just tacos for me are just the meat with the salt and the pepper.
That's
Ew.
interesting.
That's
That's not tacos.
I'm sorry.
I mean, like,
I'm
you
sorry.
need a little spice.
I love you, but I'm going to judge you for that one. It's not a taco.
Yes, it is.
No,
and then you
it's
put cheese
That's
on
just
it.
meat.
That's,
That's like a burrito or something.
And then you put cheese and onions and lettuce and green sauce.
Green sauce? Is that the
Mm-mm.
Like the
salsa verde?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
The La Victoria one or whatever. That's what
I
we
thought
use.
you lived in California for a while.
I did. But my mom didn't.
Next time you tell me that you like Mexican food and you're like, this Mexican place is good, I'm going to be like, are they? Are they really? Do they use more than...
Homemade tacos.
One of the reasons I knew that Hillary was my friend is because the first time we went out to eat somewhere, she's like, this needs salt. And she like puts her purse on the table and she goes digging through. She's like, what are you looking for? She's like, my purse salt. And like seconds later, she like pulls out a salt shaker. She's like, here it is. And she like starts salting her food.
Yeah. You gotta carry that stuff around, man.
She has to use her purse salt at my house too.
I do. Until I get you a salt shaker and buy a new one.
Yeah. Adam doesn't like salt, so.
Yeah.
So Danelle, how did you stop cooking?
Basically having kids. I was incredibly nauseous, and
Oh, yeah.
like the smell of like meat would make me like start to puke, and so Neil would start making food. And that happened with every kid. So
Man.
Well, and Neil is like, he's like Sean. He's
but
a really
but
good
you know,
cook.
I cooked all the way because he worked a lot when our kids were younger, and so I cooked all the way up until our last kid, and she's 7, and so. And then I just was like, you're a much better cook. You can take the reins.
He is. He's really good. So is Sean. I
And
think Sean's
he
good
does cook a lot from scratch.
Mhm.
I think I grew up with the fact that, like, my mom's, like, she tried to cut out a lot of, like, fat and stuff. And so I was like, butter equals bad. And so I tried not to use it. And that's, like, how you make, like, an Alfredo sauce is using butter.
Yeah.
So.
See, and I didn't know that you could make your own spaghetti sauce until I married Sean. And so I make my own spaghetti sauce now because it's super easy. You just throw a bunch of tomato stuff together. But like we grew up on the Hunt's canned jarred spaghetti sauce, or not jarred, canned stuff. And now, but I do use the jar stuff if I'm making lasagna because it's just easier.
Yeah.
But
Like a homemade spaghetti, is that like
Mhm.
from like you do like a tomato sauce?
mm-hmm.
Like a
Tomato paste or tomato sauce. I've done it before.
Stewed tomatoes.
stewed tomato, that's why I do it. And then just add herbs.
Oregano and...
I hate oregano. I don't do that.
That
And
is
I
not...
hate
Basil?
rosemary.
So what do you put in your spaghetti sauce?
Salt and pepper. I am very basic, I'm telling you.
But that's
So
not
you
spaghetti sauce. So you have tomato soup spaghetti.
And garlic and onion. Garlic,
Okay.
onion, salt, and pepper. I am very basic. Chicken and noodles. That's all that goes in chicken noodle soup. Chicken and noodles.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, that one you can do. Salt
No
and pepper.
carrots and no celery.
Oh, I like celery.
So like the Campbell's.
Chicken and noodle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you don't like homemade chicken noodle soup?
No, I love homemade chicken. Now, my mom makes really good chicken. That she does make an amazing homemade chicken noodle soup. It is chicken and noodle. There is zero carrots
I
and
want
celery.
some of your mom's chicken noodle soup.
I'll ask her to make it. It's really good.
Does
It
she-
is really good.
Oh, really? Put salt and pepper in it?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
chicken.
And chicken. Bouillon. She uses bouillon.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty salty though. I'll tell her not to make it super salty.
I don't mind salt. Adam is the one. Well, now I don't like salt as much.
Oh, I do make a good cheese and broccoli soup. I like
I,
soups.
I
I'm good
do
at
like
soups.
soup. I do like
I don't
soup
like.
soups.
I'm not a big soup fan because I'm a type 1 diabetic, and so I can have one thing of, like, it's like a cup of soup is 45 carbs, and that's like all the carbs I'm allowed. So there's not
Cheese?
many soups.
What's
What?
a Velveeta cheese? Cheese soup? Is that a lot of carbs?
Yeah, it's just a lot of carbs, like the stuff you have to put in it.
What about broccoli, or chicken noodle soup besides the noodles?
That's different because it's not
Okay.
like a That's one of the ones, yeah. But, like, it's the thick, like, I love potato cheddar soup.
Well, yeah, it's got potatoes.
And cheese and bacon.
It's like your scalloped potatoes.
Yes.
Dude, Kim makes the best scalloped potatoes. They are bomb.
See, I like to cook, and I feel like I'm a medium between, like, Hillary's mom and Sean.
It's funny. Also, I hope, I was like, the other day, I was like, I hope I didn't offend Kim when I said that, like, your cooking reminded me of my mom. Because I was like, it's so good. And it reminded me of how...
Like, there's a lot of casseroles I make where I, like, put stuff together.
I used to do all that, but...
Yeah. And then, but I, like, use, canned cream of mushroom soup. And there's one that I made when Hillary and her family came over, and it was canned cream of mushroom soup and taco seasoning, But then there are times where I make my own Alfredo sauce.
That was bomb, too. It was way better than Sean's. Your Alfredo sauce, he was slightly offended.
It was pretty good.
I was like, sorry, babe. It was way better than yours.
But yeah, so like, I don't know. So I feel like I'm a happy medium. And there are times where I'm like, I want to make bread. Not as much anymore as I used to, like before my kids. But, I really enjoy it.
Yeah. See, I don't. And you don't, right? You don't like cooking?
I don't. I don't enjoy it. It's not something but like, you know what I need to do? I need to cook.
Right.
And I think I've kind of transferred that to some of my kids because some of my kids kind of get tired of cooking too.
See, and my kids love to cook. Okay, so yesterday, it was funny. Yesterday morning, I was in my bed and I could hear Edwin. I knew it was Edwin because I could hear the little pans dinging. He was getting a pan down. Then I heard the fridge open and then the drawer open. And I was like, oh, he's going to be cooking some hot dogs. And then I heard the little click, click, click of the stove. And then Riker comes into my room and he's like, Edwin's cooking hot dogs on the stove. And I was like, I know, I can hear him. And he's like, is he allowed to do that? And I was like, yeah, we've taught him how to do it. And he's like, I wish I could cook hot dogs on the stove. And I was like, well, maybe I'll teach you how to do it. But my kids love to cook. Like, they're really good. And Mercedes makes a bomb omelet, man. She is so good at that. And stir fry.
Hank and Kit like to cook. Hank more so than Kit. I won't let him cook, though, sometimes. Because, okay, this is a non-feral moment of me. But, like, he makes a huge mess. And, like, one day we were making French toast for Adam for breakfast. It was his birthday, and I made him breakfast in bed. It was Kit's idea. Anyway, my kids were like, let's make him breakfast in bed. And I was like, oh. And so we were making French toast, and I put a bunch of stuff in, and I went to go grab something. Hank was helping me, and I turned around, and he was, like, pouring stuff in it. I don't even know what he put in it. And I was, like, not going to change it, and I gave it to Adam.
How did it taste?
It was okay.
It's like that Bluey episode when she makes the omelet.
Yeah, it was like that. And I was like, whatever. And Adam was like, whatever, you put syrup on it. And it wasn't like he put garlic or anything in it. He just put a lot of sugar.
Oh, man.
Normally I put cinnamon, but I couldn't find cinnamon. So, anyway. But yeah.
Yeah. So, with cooking, I feel like in a house with wives, whether you have children or not, that there's a lot of pressure around it of you have to be the one that either cooks or like if you have kids, not even if you have kids, like you have to have a meal on the table when they come home from work and you have to sit around the table and eat it and be together or it can't like, especially nowadays, I feel like there's so much pressure on organic foods.
Or healthy eating.
Like,
you should eat healthy, but like there's like a lot of like
what's healthy and what's not.
Yeah, the hype of all the organic stuff and the non-GMO and the no gluten, other stuff.
There's just a lot.
Yeah, there's so many things to keep track of. So I feel like there's so many different things. And like Mercedes, I only fed her non-GMO and like organic foods till she was 1, I think. Yeah. And now she just eats bumpy chicken nuggets. And corn dogs and all that stuff now. So
with Kit, we self-fed. We just gave her what we were eating at the table that she could eat. Mm-hmm. And that's what she ate. We were too poor to buy baby food. I mean, we weren't that poor, but like it was just easier to like feed. Like we would have vegetables, so we would just mash them up for her and let her eat those. Like that type of stuff. And I mean, we fed her. We weren't like, but we weren't gonna like just only give her this like gourmet baby food meal. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, so she would just eat whatever.
Which is actually a huge popular, I mean, I did that when she was older with the food, when we started, like, real food.
Yeah.
Which is, I think it's just baby led is what it's called.
Yep, baby led.
I know Jordan did that with her kids, too.
But it wasn't until, like, after, like, they're 1, right?
Yeah. But that's what I did.
That's what I did. We just, whatever we were eating, they ate.
Yeah, we did it from 6 months on. So, it's like, it was, I don't know. It, like, my doctor talked to us about it, and, like, we were talking about different ways to feed, and so, yeah. So, and we did some baby food, but, like, we would just always make sure, like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, I would just put, like, the green beans in the blender, or the broccoli in the blender, and let her eat it, and then when she got teeth,
home baby food.
Basically, and then when she got teeth, I would just, like, cut, you know, like, and so, yeah, so that's what I did with her. I had more time, apparently, because with Hank, he had a little more baby food than her. Plus, he had no teeth. He didn't get teeth after he was 1, so that was hard.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's also pressure about, like, so I've read this thing about sitting around together and eating for family dinners. I don't know if you guys, like, sit around and eat dinner together every night or whatever. I know we try to sit together as a family every night. It's not around the table every time. Ours is usually we all sit together at the couch and we watch an episode of something together. Or sometimes we'll sit at the counter all together, or we'll sit at the table. It's kind of like here or there. Typically it's around the couch and we'll watch something together. But we usually, before we do, we start and we talk about our day and, like, see, like, oh, how'd it go, whatever, and then we'll watch something. But I think every family is different, though, and it's like, statistics say that even if you just gather together as a family every night, no matter where you're at, it's just that it's, like, better for the children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, in general.
You have lots of family dinners, right?
We do. I mean, I think when our kids go to, like, church activities, that's a night that we don't.
Yeah.
It's kind of like scavenge for yourself.
Right.
Kind of a
like
night.
Sport nights are really hard for us. Like, soccer nights and stuff are hard.
So we try, and one thing I always thought, like my mom set the table every night when we had dinner. One thing that I've learned is to have family dinner is that we just grab dinner sometimes. Sometimes I set the table. Sometimes we just grab our food and then we sit around the table. Because for a long time we went without, especially after Tommy was born, we did not have family dinners. And honestly, when we started having family dinners again, and it was hard to get back into, but like, I've noticed a difference in my kids and how they are.
Yeah.
But I've also let go of my idea of what a family dinner is. Like, I'm not going to lie. There are nights where it's like, okay, everyone grab their food and we're going to sit around the table. And we always Kit calls it the nicest part of your day game, which is very, we talk about the nicest part of our day. And every day my husband's like, when I came home, the kid's like, Dad, you have such a boring life. Like, that's the nicest part of your day. And so, yeah. But, and then the other thing that I found that relieved a lot of my cooking pressure, sometimes we have Fend for Yourself night.
Oh, yeah.
Where everyone just eats whatever they want within reason. Sometimes my kids have cereal for dinner, before they go to bed. But, so I try and keep stuff like macaroni and cheese or, like, frozen pizzas, something that they can, like, make themselves. But my kids are also getting better at cooking, so the other night Kit made her and her brother eggs, So, like, that's one thing that I found relieved a lot of the pressure. I saw a meme one time and it said, I didn't know that the hardest part of being an adult was deciding what you were going to eat for dinner every night the rest of your life.
Really, that is like the truth.
So
what's hard for dinner? I think early in our marriage, though, we had like a menu, and it helped with our budget too, because we were super tight and poor, and so we'd have just what we'd have for the month, and then we'd go shopping once a month to get everything, and that we stayed in our budget.
Not that scheduled.
That's how we scheduled it, but we had to. I mean, we had X amount of dollars and.
We were poor too, but I just was like, I've tried to meal plan. I can't do it.
I meal plan kind of in between. I basically am like, what do I want for the next? We get paid like bi-weekly. So I'm like, what kinds of dinners do we? And we eat a lot of the same things. I'm like, what kind of dinners do we want for the next like 2 weeks? And I kind of try and keep that stuff stocked in my house.
Yeah.
So that I know within reason what I have. And then I go shopping. I go grocery shopping all the time, it feels like. But I do 2 big trips during the pay. I do like one when we get paid and I buy lots of groceries, and then I do one like a week later where I buy like the stuff that doesn't stay. So so that's how I do it. And I just try and keep in the house like what I know we like for
we
dinners.
Do that too, Yep. And my kids, my Edwin will eat chicken nuggets all day long and mac and cheese, and I'm like, we're not gonna eat that every single night. But I'm also like, I don't really care. We do the thing where I'll pull out, because we have leftovers a lot, and so and I don't want to waste the food, so I'll be like, I'll pull all the leftovers out, and I'll be like, hey, you can pick what you're gonna eat. These are the options. Yeah, so we do that like randomly throughout the week too.
We are not good at eating leftovers. So we just don't have a lot of leftovers. And if we do, usually we eat them for lunch, or we eat them. Leftovers? We eat them sometimes. There are some things that go really fast. Adam will usually take them for work. But I also have a teenage son. So honestly, we eat dinner. We put little kids to bed. Then Ryan goes back and does the dishes. And when he does the dishes and there's still leftover food, honestly, he has what we call second dinner. And he sits down and he eats like a whole entire another dinner. So he's not the teenager who constantly snacks all the time. He's the teenager who eats first breakfast, second breakfast, mid-morning snack, lunch. Then he doesn't really have anything till dinner, and then second dinner. Like, that's his, like...
Yeah. Edwin will eat rice, too. He'll eat rice for breakfast almost every morning. If there's rice in the fridge.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
He goes in there. That kid will eat rice. Oh, my gosh.
My daughter's like that.
He will. I'm like, you can't eat just rice every morning, kid. Like, he'll douse it with butter and soy sauce. So, like, he throws it in the microwave, and then he's like, I'm eating rice. And he'll eat the whole bowl.
My kids have cereal for breakfast. Sugary cereal.
We did that before it got so expensive.
Right?
So now they're doing oatmeal and eggs.
I always wanted to be the mom who cooked her kids a big breakfast. Like, got up when her husband went to work and... made breakfast. Not a sandwich, but made breakfast. Heck no. Adam goes to work at like 7, and I am still sound asleep.
So I'd rather make a sandwich than breakfast. I don't get up really.
Yeah. So we don't do lunch. We have breakfast for dinner. Special occasions we have breakfast, but I don't make a breakfast every day. And then lunch, they do their own lunches. Like, I do the little kids, or sometimes like Ryan or Kit will make them a sandwich now, but we usually do simple things. Sometimes we have leftovers, peanut butter and jelly, a sandwich. And, but now, like, even my son Hank, he's 4. He can make his own peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Because his siblings make them, so he wants to make them. Yeah. Someone was like, one of my friends was like, doesn't that drive you nuts? And I was like, no, why would it? Like, she's like, doesn't he get it messy? I'm like, yes, he does, but I clean it up. And it's good for him. It gives him his independence.
Yeah. Do your kids... you said they don't really cook. No, they cook.
They do.
The older ones.
Yeah. James and Andrew, and sometimes Spencer, they do cook. Yeah. Josie is like, what's fast? So, and then my littlest one is just starting to learn. But Andrew was like really into cooking. He'd be like, oh, this tastes good. And so like he kind of got into it just because he likes flavors. And so.
That's cool.
And then James just learned. So
Hank wants to put things together and like see how they taste. And I'm like, no, you're 4. You're not like putting like stuff together.
It's like ratatouille, the cheese and the strawberry.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like grocery shopping.
Do you?
I do. I enjoy grocery shopping. I don't like cooking the food I bring home. I like to shop for it. I think I just like shopping, honestly.
I don't like grocery shopping.
I like grocery shopping. It's easy out of the house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then when the kids aren't with me, it's even better.
I know. It's like some free time.
But I like grocery shopping late at night. So I don't know. There's something about, I just like to when I'm in there, I like to be in the zone. I don't like to talk to anybody.
Yeah, Adam and I will
Talk to
often.
random people in the grocery
No,
store?
people come up, like, when I'm with Neil, because
Okay,
everybody knows
she's-
my husband.
She's married to Neil.
That's true.
So when she goes in public, she's bombarded with people.
Yes.
That's true.
Neil, her husband, knows everyone.
Yes, he does. And so I like going by myself. Don't go with Neil.
We've seen Neil at Walmart before.
Yes.
One time Adam and I ran into Neil, and
He talks.
our
He takes
friends-
forever to go to the
Yes.
store.
And then we ran into our friend Sierra, and we were just like standing there talking in the store. And then all of a sudden Neil was like, "Oh dang it! I told Danelle I wouldn't be gone that long."
This is why I
Walmart.
don't send my husband to the store.
I ran into both him and Sierra actually at Walmart
man.
before. So, but yeah,
I'm quicker at grocery shopping than he is.
I'm sure.
Oh, Shonda is so slow.
Adam is slow at grocery shopping.
I actually like going to Winco like at like 11 or something.
Oh yeah, because it's
Because
24 hours
it's
long.
like, well, yes, it's late at night, but there's no one there.
Yeah.
So you can get in and out.
Yes.
maybe I should start doing that.
I'm a focus shopper.
Well, that's how I feel about Costco. When I go to Costco, I'm not there to like
Chat. No.
chat and look
Same.
around.
Oh, I am. I have to look at the books. That's the one thing you have to do when you go to Costco.
Adam is like,
Look at
I'm
the
in
TVs.
heaven. I'm in heaven. Like, I mean, he loves it and he wants to look at everything. And I'm like, no, Costco, we are here for a purpose. Here's the
Right?
list. We start on this part of the store. I know the order that everything is in. I am in and I am out.
That's how I am too at Costco.
And I
Sean's
get a hot dog.
Sean's like, I never get out of the house. I want to see everything that's at Costco.
Adam's like, let's go down this aisle. I'm like, no one's in that aisle because there's nothing there.
Sean's like, I want to look at the TVs. I was like, why we're not buying one?
That's Adam. Adam's like, I want to look
Come
at
on.
the...
I don't think
how-
we've ever said I want to look at the TVs.
No, Adam's like, you want to look at TVs?
Why?
Although last time I was like, can we look at laptops? I wanted to look at the MacBook, but
Well, if you're actually going to buy something, then yeah.
well, I
but
was
if
not
you're
going to buy it. but I
Yeah, you
wanted
have to
look at it.
purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Mm.
there's just so many people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so busy today. And we're like, we usually go to the other one. They're like, oh, never mind. You know how crazy it is.
Yeah.
But they're actually building a new Costco out here by us. And everyone in the area is super excited.
Where? Up there?
Up north.
By where the
New Trader
In-N-Out is
Joe's?
going in.
Oh, that's what I thought. Correct.
It's going to be paradise.
I don't like In-N-Out, though.
I've
Do you?
Well, yeah, I grew up in California.
I did, too.
It is
only been
like-
to it once.
You also think that only salt and pepper go on
Homemade tacos.
But you like,
Del Taco.
do you
is
like
the
Five
best.
Guys?
No.
Okay.
I don't like Five Guys. I hate In-N-Out's fries. They should be banned. They're so disgusting.
They're so delicious.
They're like crunchy straw wrappers.
They're made with
They're
real
so
potatoes.
They're fried to
They're
nastiness.
so good. Do you like In-N-Out?
She said she
No.
only been there once. Have you
I
had their
like
fries?
Burgerville's rosemary fries. Those are so good.
I'm not a big burger.
I hate
fan.
rosemary.
I love it. I love the smell of it. I love it.
I like In-N-Out is my favorite burger place, but Del Taco is like my
Del
favorite.
Taco's the
If someone's
best.
like, "Where do you want to go for fast food?" I'm like, "Del Taco."
Edwin said he didn't like Del Taco, and I was like, how
Aw.
are you, my child?
When I lived on the East Coast, they had no Del Taco.
Yeah.
I don't like Del Taco.
Danelle.
I like Del Taco's tacos. They're good.
They have more than salt and pepper on them.
Well, I like tacos at other places, homemade tacos. I also don't like homemade cheeseburgers.
I don't
They're
like.
disgusting.
Adam likes to like. Yeah, I'm not a big.
I also don't like cheeseburgers at like restaurants. I only,
So you just don't like cheeseburgers?
yeah. Well, I like McDonald's cheeseburgers.
I don't think cheese goes on a burger. I don't like it.
What? Oh my
I've learned all
god!
kinds of things about it. It's okay. I have sensory issues, so
I don't think cheese goes on sandwiches. I don't think cheese goes on.
hold on.
I
Hold the phone. Do you like cheese?
I do like cheese, but
Okay.
I like a
Oh,
cheese
where?
sandwich, but it has to be
I was-
melted.
Do you think that cheese
was-
goes on tacos?
I was afraid we couldn't
No,
be friends anymore.
I think it makes it dry. That's why I don't really.
That's why you
care.
put the sour cream and the sauce
I
on.
know, but I don't like
the
it.
cheese
It dries
doesn't
it out.
make it dry.
The
Yeah.
cheese makes it delicious.
Yeah.
I love cheese on everything.
Me
Pico.
but-
We have to have pico.
Well, yeah, that's like you put.
And I guess I get
and...
too lazy to cut up lettuce, so we don't have lettuce.
You just rip it up.
We just have meat, maybe sometimes beans, pico, sour cream.
Yeah.
That's a sad taco.
That is a sad taco.
No, it's not.
That's true. Actually, one time we went to their house for dinner and you guys didn't put cheese. I brought cheese for the tacos. No, I asked for cheese. And Spencer was like, what?
I think it just dries it out.
And my kids were like, you don't put cheese
texture.
on your tacos? Luckily, they had cheese or we would have had to go get our own cheese.
Oh, we always have cheese. And we have cheese on a lot of things, but I just don't like it on.
What do you have it on?
All the food that we make topped with cheese.
Except
but
tacos.
I don't like it on hamburgers.
And cheeseburgers.
I think it's gross.
Do you like it on chili?
Yeah.
Okay.
Taco soup. I love it.
Right, you put cheese on taco soup but not on tacos?
Oh yes. I know.
Because the soup is wet.
Isn't taco soup just chili?
No.
Real chili is meat. It's like seasoned meat. It has no beans in it. That's like what real chili is.
Yeah, I hate beans in chili. It's gross.
That's funny. Well, I put cheese on everything.
Oh, we're
except my cereal.
You what? You don't put cheese in your cereal?
I said I put cheese on everything except my cereal.
Oh.
Why not?
Because it doesn't go. It makes it dry.
But the milk makes it wet.
Because it doesn't go in cereal. But seriously, I think every other meal has cheese on it for me.
Right? I literally live off of string cheeses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's like what I live off.
Danielle's she's like, but I like that kind of cheese. I just don't like it on my tacos.
Well, yeah.
Actually, in Mexico,
I think it was just when I got pregnant. There was one pregnancy, I had it, and it just the texture grossed me out, and I can't do it anymore. So
interesting. Well, I feel
because we did used to have it on
in
tacos.
Mexico, they don't put cheese on their tacos.
Well, I mean,
street tacos.
Street tacos. That's what
but if you put Mexican cheese on a taco, it doesn't do the same thing. But I'm talking about I guess we just do mozzarella or Monterey Jack or cheddar, but those all kind of are wrong on a taco. But if you do Mexican cheese, that's fine.
That's true. Those cheeses are more moist.
You have to have the right cheese in order to put it on your taco.
We just put the
creamus,
the cheddar. Whatever we have, which is usually...
try Mexican cheese and it's much better.
Sean
I've had
buys
Mexican
that
cheese
for when we do street tacos.
Yeah. But I mean, street tacos, they don't have No. They don't have... So I will give you that. American tacos, though... I like cheese.
Me too.
So yeah. I just like cheese.
I do too.
I married
For a
Adam.
minute there, I thought we couldn't be friends if you didn't like cheese. I was a little worried.
When I moved to the East Coast, actually, they eat quite a little. They
eat quail?
Actually, they eat some weird stuff. But they eat a lot less cheese. So I would tell people oh, I put cheese on that, and they're like, why? I don't know.
Why not?
Because in California, you put cheese and bacon and avocado and sour cream on everything, I guess.
Yeah.
You have to, and you know what? Tacos have to have lime.
Oh yeah, I like lime on my tacos. But yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah. So if you cook or don't cook, you're still
a wife
or mother or significant other. You're something to someone. So, Danelle, you are a feral housewife. Yes. And so, is Danelle a domesticated houseman?
Is Neil? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. We've determined ours are.
Yeah. Adam is probably less domesticated than Sean.
I don't know. He builds things.
He does build things. But yeah.
He's a little bit more feral though.
Neil does he doesn't cook. Adam doesn't cook. He'll grill.
Yeah, that's true.
But Neil does the laundry.
He does. Well, my kids do laundry now.
And he cooks.
Yeah.
But yeah. I feel like a feral person also wants to stay home a lot. Which
not really.
Not.
I don't stay home a lot.
Or sorry, a domesticated person. Oh. A domesticated person stays home a lot.
Yeah, I was like, I go out and I do whatever I want.
See, and Adam would rather stay home.
No, Neil would rather go out. I would rather stay home.
Right. I feel like everyone has their domesticated and their feral
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah.
But you're pretty feral, Danelle.
You are. You're up on the up here on the level of feral.
Right. So don't let anyone make you feel guilty about how you're cooking.
Nope.
I think the important thing is that your family's getting fed.
Yeah.
Whether it be
Organic.
or from packets. Or
just salt and pepper.
You know what? Maybe that's why I have sensory issues. Just salt and pepper. I blame you, Mom.
you gave her sensory issues. So don't let anyone make you feel guilty about what you're feeding your children. The important thing is that you are feeding your family.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, you might be a mess.
But you're not alone.
You're feral. I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Hillary.
And we're the Feral Housewives.
But when times are tough and things get rough, it's a good thing we've got our best friends by our side. Laundry couches are a must. Baking cookies is a bust. Unconventional moms are the bomb. Put the kids to bed, listen. Two feral housewives raising kids. Two feral housewives dealing with life.